Chapter 4. Danny was passing the blue lockers in the red and black painted hallways of the school. He was heading towards his second period, which was English. His teacher was Miss Connors, which he knew from last year when she taught him communications. Danny smiled as Miss Connors was one of the most favorite teachers at the school. Miss Connors always had a positive demeanor and personality about her that Danny always enjoyed. As he was in the middle of his thoughts on Miss Connors, Danny had a thought towards the strange symbols he saw in Mr. Shepherd's room. Whenever Danny wasn't thinking about going to class, the thought seemed to pop up in his mind, and he wanted to know more. The thoughts of the strange symbols were like an irritating scratch on his back that he just can't reach. Suddenly he looked up and saw that he was in the classroom 207. Guess I'll have to find out about the weird symbols later, he thought. With anticipation, he walked into the class, intending on seeing Miss Connors, but noticed that she was not in the classroom. Maybe she's running late, he thought. Then he began to look around the classroom to see it had some changes compared to last year. The color of the classroom was different. It was dark blue, and Miss Connors' desk was in the corner. The desk was made of wood and painted black with a picture of her husband Keith and her son Mitchell in a gold frame. Danny also noticed that she had posters of several movies that came out this year, including Deadpool, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and Captain America: Civil War. Guess she's trying to appeal to my generation, he thought. As Danny continued to explore the classroom, he heard a familiar voice. It said, "It's been a long time, Danny." Then Danny turned around and saw a Mexican boy smiling at him. He knew the voice he just heard was extremely familiar. Then, with a sudden realization, he immediately knew who the boy in front of him was. It was his extremely close cousin, Luke Monsole, and judging by his appearance, he had grown significantly. He was wearing blue jeans and with black Nike shoes and green shirt that stated God loves on it. He also had a black beaded cross around his neck and a black hood that matched it. Danny smirked and walked over to his cousin Luke and asked, "Luke, is that you, man? It took you that long to remember me?" "Well, how else am I supposed to recognize you? It's been 9 years, cousin." "Yes, it has, Primo." Danny and Luke smirked, then hugged each other and made a fist bump. Danny smiled. He hadn't seen his cousin Luke since they were 9 years old. He remembered that he was always smart and very energetic. Danny remembered that when Luke was 9 years old, he was just starting to take geometry and was able to solve math problems that were extremely difficult with incredible ease. Not only that, but Luke was also able to get straight A's in the class all the time ever since he was in kindergarten. Now that Danny could see his cousin again, there was a sense of relief in him, knowing that Luke was going to be in the class and that things were going to be very interesting. Danny smiled at his cousin as he sat right beside him in the classroom and said, "Well, Luke, I've seen you grown since last I saw you." "The same can be said for you, Danny," Luke replied. "Yeah, so have you decided which college you're going to?" "The University of California comes to mind. By the way, you talking to any females yet?" "No, not really. It's not always about the females, you know. It's all about the females, Primo. These girls here are extremely beautiful, and I'm going to get all their numbers and their Snapchat." "Yeah, okay, Luke." "Don't okay, Luke, me, Danny. I'm always getting the females." "Really? Then what happened the last time? But don't even go there. She wasn't worth my time." Just then, Miss Connors walked in, as well as several other students. Danny looked at his watch, and it was 10 a.m. Right on time, Danny thought. Just as students were getting in their seats, another student walked in, and Danny recognized her immediately. It was Sonia, from earlier in Mr. Shepherd's class. When Luke saw her walk in, his mouth was completely open, and his eyes got bigger and even bigger. Then Luke said, "Dang, that girl is fine." "Luke, don't try anything. She's mine." "Yeah, right. After class, I'm going to get her number." "Yeah, okay. Good luck with that." Just then the bell rang, and Miss Connors began to talk to all the students about the class. "Good morning, students. How are all of you today?" There was a loud groan that followed. Apparently, people were bored already, but Miss Connors smiled and said, "I figured as much. So instead of having you guys listen to a boring lecture that you clearly don't want to listen to, I'm going to have you guys watch a 30-minute video on English and rhetoric so that you guys can get a grasp on how rhetoric works." There was a huge smile going across everyone's face in the classroom, including Danny's. Miss Connor smiled, then pulled down the board and turned on the projector in the classroom. The video was on YouTube and the title was English mixed with rhetoric. In the beginning, everybody in class seemed to be paying attention, but as the video went on, more and more people began to go on their Snapchat and look at their friends' stories and short videos. Other people began to listen to music. It seemed only Danny, Luke, and Sonia were paying attention. Time seemed to go fast because just when Danny was getting a grasp of rhetoric, the video ended, and he smiled, knowing that class was over. Miss Connors told everyone about the homework assignment, which was comparing and contrasting rhetoric. Danny grabbed his backpack and noticed that Luke was trying to flirt with Sonia, but she didn't like his flirtation at all. Then he watched as Luke said something, and in an instant, Sonia slapped Luke in the face and then walked out of class. Danny walked up to Luke and said, "Luke, what did you say to her?" "Apparently she can't take a compliment, Primo. All I said was that if she worked in Subway, she had nice buns." Danny smirked and said, "Luke, that's not a compliment. That's a pickup line, and a horrible one at that." "Well, it works on other girls. I'm surprised it actually works on some of them." "You'd be surprised how easy it is to flirt with some of these girls, Primo." "Okay, Luke. Well, I have to go. I'll see you later, cousin." "Same to you, Primo." Same as Danny left the classroom, he noticed something very strange. The amulet around his neck began to glow, and for a brief moment, Danny thought he saw a dark cloaked figure standing in the middle of the hallway. But as Danny walked towards the figure, he suddenly disappeared. What was that? "I could have sworn I saw something or someone there," he thought. He then looked at his amulet and it stopped glowing. Danny walked to his next class. Far from the English class, a dark figure was standing right next to the side of the school. He was very careful as he didn't want to alert anyone of his presence. His master's orders were to watch out for four special teenagers and see that he united against him. But so far, he found nothing. Typical humans, always weak and inferior to us, he thought. He was dressed in black robe with a hood and a sword inscribed on his name, Azazel, demon of hell. Then he felt a fiery glow behind him and turned around to see it. The fiery glow showed Azazel, images of hell, and his master sitting on his throne. He then bowed to his master as he spoke. "Azazel, have you found the special children yet? Have they united?" "No, master, they have not. In fact, they are living normal lives and didn't even know the truth." "Then perhaps it is time we shake things up for them. Send your followers and your hellhounds after them tomorrow." "Yes, master." The blazing fire image stopped, and Azazel disappeared from the school.